is Analisa Reed, and my thesis is titled Teaching Art History in the Digital Age, Pedagogical Innovations for a Global Classroom. And the foundation for this project is the fact that art history is kind of falling behind as far as technology goes in the classroom. So traditionally, art history is taught by just projecting images on a screen, discussing them, teaching students how to look at form and function, color, iconography, and supplementing with scholarly articles. And while that can be effective, I mean, that's how I learned art history when I first started, I feel like it could be better, and it could help students learn in a way that they're more familiar with by using technology. So this project is going to focus on 3 types of pedagogical innovations: AI, VR, and open educational resources, or artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and OERs. So looking at these, I have picked 3 different options from Microsoft, Google, and then a group called Smart History, and show how they can be incorporated into a modern classroom. Now, the goal for this is to not only show that art history and therefore the humanities can be moved into the 21st century as far as pedagogy goes, but also how it can work with diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that important things that we can incorporate into the study of art history. So it's just making history come alive. It's about speaking to the creation of human creativity and how we as a species have expressed ourselves over thousands of years. I think this is really important, and it's something I'm super passionate about, and so I'm thrilled that I get to be able to talk about that in my thesis. So my research question really just centers around how can we do that? What are effective ways of doing that, of incorporating these technologies into a classroom in a pedagogical manner, while also ensuring that the fundamentals of art history are still covered? I created a set of criteria, which I will be placing against recording my thoughts. And of course, this is a qualitative study, and so it won't be exactly unbiased, but I will do my best to hold each of these up to a standard so that I can get a fair judgment of their abilities. And I will be examining them based on pedagogical impact and learning experience, accessibility and inclusivity, authenticity and interpretation, ethical and theoretical considerations, and community and collaboration. I'll analyze each of the 3 and write up my report. Now, this isn't necessarily something that's super different as far as using technology in the classroom, but I think the focus has been so heavily on STEM fields that the humanities have kind of gotten left behind. And I've seen it in the news, I'm sure you've seen it in the news as well, that art history is kind of left behind. The humanities are forgotten about in the conversation, and programs are getting cut across the board by universities trying to save money, and that's simply not fair in my opinion. I think that humanities subjects, and I'm biased because art history is my favorite, shows us what we are as humans, what we're capable of as a species in a different way. And, you know, we've made great technological advances, but also our creativity is important. What sets us apart? How do we record our stories and our past and understand the world around us? And so I think that's really the value that my thesis will bring to the field, is that there are ways to marry the two, to marry technology and history and innovation all together, and it will really benefit students. Additionally, part of my research will focus on how we can use these tools to make sure that all voices are heard. There's a heavy bias towards the Western canon in art history and in many history subjects as well. But by making this information more accessible and easier to understand and come to life in the classroom, I'm hoping that these motivations will help students kind of understand the global canon as opposed to just the Western canon. Some limitations that I faced while writing is that it's still a pretty new field, and I don't have a technology background. I am an educator. I have a master's in education. I'm an art historian. I'm just a regular person. I don't work in STEM. And so I've had to really teach myself and focus on open source articles that break it down for me as someone who's unfamiliar with the more nuanced language. Thankfully, there's a ton of resources out there, which also speaks to my research of how can we make this technology more accessible. And I've been able to learn a lot just on the innovations from the last few years. Recommendations and results, I don't have those quite yet. I'm working on that as my next piece for the next quarter. And I wouldn't do anything differently so far. I'm really passionate about this subject. I'm super interested in how we can come together as educators and as art historians or poets, anybody who is passionate about the humanities, and how we can claim that space for ourselves, make our seat at the table, and explain to people why these subjects are so important. Therefore, I think that it's also important to frame this research. And so my research frames are going to be kind of a postmodern, post-colonial theory, just because of the subjects that I'm dealing with equity and diversity, art history, technology. All of those things really fit well within those frameworks. So I will be incorporating that into my analysis. And someday I hope to scale this up. I hope this provides a foundation for future research, for future degrees. I'm an academic at heart. I want to continue this work, and I'm hoping that at the end of this, with my analysis, I'll be able to create a kind of survey course template syllabus that will incorporate ways for teachers and educators to really use my research in action. And I would make that available on open educational resources, because that's what I'm passionate about. And that is my future goals, is to just really continue working on this and find a way to help educators, including art historians, to really work through the technology and bring it to life for students in the classroom. I'm super duper excited about this project. It's something that I really found myself being excited about over the last couple of years of this program. And if you had asked me when I first started my master's in art history, I don't think I would have gone this direction. But finding something that feels relevant, especially to my work right now and what's going on in the United States right now, I'm just absolutely excited to be doing this. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to my defense and updating this later. Hi everyone, pre-defense Analisa here. I just got out of the shower, just getting ready. I'm finishing up my notes so that I can print them out and have them ready. I haven't gotten ready, as you can tell. I'm completely barefaced. Definitely gonna change my shirt, but I wanted to record a little video beforehand just so that I can talk about how excited I am. Very nervous, but I think it's gonna go well. I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep because we had a giant windstorm last night here in Seattle, like 60-mile-an-hour gusts. And so we didn't have any power, and it was super windy, and all of the branches were hitting the roof above my bed. So I'm super duper tired, but I'm excited to go through this process and defend my prospectus. And yeah, I will check in after the prospectus, but I just wanted to record a little bit before I do it, just to add to this video and talk about, how excited I am to complete this process. Okay, so I just finished my thesis defense and it went really well. I'm super excited about the way we're gonna go with it. Definitely wrote it more as a project without even realizing it. So we're gonna focus more on a practical application of digital pedagogy versus a more theory-based thing, which is definitely more my style, because I'm a practical person, not necessarily a theory person. And so I'm really excited that that's how I'm going to incorporate my research and provide resources for future educators. So thank you so much for watching. I'm very excited about this direction that my work is going to be going in, and make sure you subscribe so you can see the progress I'm making.